Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Tonight I have a super quick and easy what's for dinner for you guys. I'm going to be sharing 4 meals with you guys that are really easy, family-friendly meals. Now these aren't all necessarily healthy, but they are quick and easy and all things that your family is sure to love. If you try any of these recipes out, make sure you tag me at Shawna Videos on Instagram because I love to see when you guys are trying out my recipes. And besides that, let's go ahead and jump into the first recipe. And since becoming a mom, it literally is like I found my purpose. First up, we're going to be making these bacon ranch grilled chicken wraps. These are really good and a total take on the Chili's bacon ranch quesadillas. I'm just starting off here with getting some bacon going. I'm just going to cook an entire package of bacon in my cast iron skillet. I'm not going to show all this, but I just went ahead and cooked all that up real quick. Okay, and then for the chicken, I'm gonna take a couple chicken breasts and throw them in a Tupperware. I'm gonna throw some olive oil in there first off and kind of give that a shake and let the olive oil coat the chicken breasts a little bit. Okay, and then I'm gonna put a little bit of garlic powder in there, some onion powder. Ooh, way too much onion powder. A little bit of seasoning salt. And then about half of my ranch seasoning in there. And then I'm gonna shake that up to coat everything. We'll put those on a foil-lined baking dish. We will do it again with my other 2 chicken breasts. I apologize because you can hear bacon sizzling and the fan going in the background. Last minute I decided I didn't want to cook these in the oven, so I'm actually going to cook them in my Instant Pot. I just went ahead and put about a cup of water in the bottom of my Instant Pot, and then I have my little trivet thing in there. And then I am just going to go ahead and put the chicken breast into the Instant Pot. That is what they look like. I'm gonna go ahead and put my lid on and make sure it is to the sealed position. And then I am going to put it on high. I'm gonna do pressure cook on high for 10 minutes. We're gonna let that go. Okay, so when the timer went off, I let it naturally release for almost 10 minutes. And now I'm just gonna do the quick release for the rest of it, and then I'll open it up and let you guys see that. So we have the chicken all cooked. It looks really good. And then I have some bacon all cooked up, and I'm just gonna get some low-carb tortillas, put these in there with some cheese. If you have lettuce would be great in these, and then some ranch for dipping. So I decided I'm actually gonna heat mine up a little bit in a cast iron. So I'm gonna take just a little bit of butter and put that down there and let it melt. Okay, then I'm gonna put my tortilla down. I'm just gonna take some cheese and add that in there. Then I'm gonna take a piece of bacon, kind of crumble it up a little. And then I'm gonna take about half of one of the chicken breasts. Just gonna put that all in there. And then personally, I'm gonna add a little bit more cheese as well, just a little bit more. And then I'm going to fold this up a little. is a little warm. Let's do both sides. I'll cook like that for a couple minutes, and then I'll flip it over and cook it on the other side as well. It's been cooking on the side for a few minutes now, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take it and flip it over and let it cook on the other side as well until it is kind of brown on both sides, and then all the cheese on the inside is melted. Okay, and that's how it turned out. I'm gonna eat mine with a side salad and some ranch, but I'm really excited. It looks really, really good. It'll be a great dinner for us. Next up, I'm going to be sharing a super quick pizza roll recipe. This was per my husband's request this week. He had been having a craving, so I'm going to be showing you how I make these crescent roll pizza roll-ups. So for these roll-ups, I literally just take a package of crescent rolls. I separate them like you normally would, and then in one of the triangles, I lay out like 3 to 4 pepperonis and half of a mozzarella cheese stick, and then I roll it up like I normally would and place them on my baking sheet. And then I just cook these in my oven at 350 per the instructions on the back of my crescent roll container for about 9 minutes. And then they come out really golden brown. You'll want to kind of watch these and just see until they're done. We like our crescent rolls pretty soft, so 9 minutes was about right for us. But if you like yours more crispy, you might want to cook them a little bit longer, but just follow the instructions on the back of your crescent roll container. And they come out all nice and crispy. The crescent roll dough, of course, is really soft. And then you have the melted cheese and the pepperonis. So good. We serve them with ranch, but you could also serve them with marinara for a really, really super simple, quick, easy dinner. Or this could be an awesome snack as well if you don't want to have it for an entire meal. We did just have it for dinner. My toddler absolutely adored this dinner, and my husband, of course, loved it. Like I said, he had been requesting it. So it was a really good dinner for us. Is it good? Yum. Next up for dinner this week is this one pan meal. This is sausage, sweet potatoes, and broccoli, all cooked on one pan in the oven.
Turn off and preheat my oven to 450 degrees.
So the original recipe says to use 2 sweet potatoes for this, but I had a huge one, as you guys can see here. So I'm just gonna use one, and I did go ahead and peel it. You can leave the peel on if you guys like the peel. I don't like sweet potato peels, so I just went ahead and peeled it. And then I'm chopping it up as little bit, like into little bite-sized pieces, and putting those in a bowl and setting them aside to get them cooking here in a minute.
Now in the sweet potato mixture, I'm going to add some olive oil. Enough to make sure they get coated pretty well. I'm gonna add some pepper. I'll leave the original recipe linked down below with some measurements, but I don't measure seasonings. So if you've been around on my channel for a while, then you know that. Some garlic powder, and then just a little bit of onion powder. The original recipe didn't call for this, but I felt like adding it, so I'm going to. And I'm just gonna take a spoon and make sure that's all nice and coated. And if I think I need to add more, then I will. Okay, so I can personally tell that this isn't enough to coat it, so I'm just gonna add a little bit more. Those are coated pretty well. So now I have a large pan with foil on it. You can use a cookie sheet. I can tell this is gonna be a ton of potatoes though, so I went ahead and grabbed something bigger. And I'm gonna dump all these out. I'm gonna spread them out. We're gonna throw these in the oven and let these cook for 15 minutes while we get the broccoli and the sausage ready. Next, I'm gonna cut up the sausage. I just grabbed one of these beef smoked sausage links from my grocery store. You can use any kind of sausage you want. I'm gonna go ahead and cut these up into little bite-sized pieces, and then we'll be putting these in once the sweet potatoes have cooked for 15 minutes. Once my sweet potatoes have cooked for 15 minutes in the oven, I did take them out and go ahead and flip them over just to make sure both sides are getting browned. And then I'm going to take the sausages that I've already cut up, and I'm going to go ahead and put those on top of the sweet potatoes. So I chose to do this strictly because I wanted the fat from the sausage to get onto the sweet potatoes and like the grease and stuff. If the original recipe though says to just scoot the sweet potatoes over to the side and put them on. And as you can see, my pan is already very full. I do end up splitting this into 2 separate pans later on. It is supposed to be a 1-pan meal, but I made extra so that we could have leftovers. So mine ended up needing to be on 2 pans. So if you want yours to fit on 1 pan, just don't make quite as much as I did. And then I'm gonna stick this back into the oven for 10 more minutes. While it's cooking, I am going to go ahead and get my broccoli ready. So I'm just going to cut this up into little bite-sized pieces, and then I'm going to go ahead and season it. I am just seasoning it the same way I did the sweet potatoes. So first I'm going to drizzle it with olive oil, then I'm going to put garlic powder, onion powder, and pepper on it. Once the sausage and sweet potatoes had been in there for 10 more minutes, I went ahead and removed it. And this is where I went ahead and split it into 2 pans. You'll see here in just a second, just because I realized there wasn't enough room on this pan for the broccoli. So I just got another pan, and I'm gonna put the sweet potato and sausage mixture on. I'm just gonna split it in half. And then I'm gonna go ahead and mix the broccoli in. Now, the original recipe says to basically put sweet potatoes on one side, broccoli in the middle, and sausage on the other side. But I wanted like all of it mixed together. I don't know why, that's how I wanted to do it. So that's how I did it. So I just went ahead and mixed it all together, made sure I was kind of turning the sausages over a little bit because they did start to get brown a little bit on one side. So I want to flip them so that they got brown on the other side. And then I'm going to stick this back in the oven for 15 more minutes or until the broccoli is to your liking. I think mine ended up cooking a little bit longer than that because I liked it a little bit crispier. It wasn't quite done enough for me. Once it's done, you just serve it as is. You can season it with salt and pepper to your liking, but it is done. This was really good and really easy. My husband did eat it with some hot sauce on top of it. My son and I just ate it normal, and it was really good and a really quick and easy, healthy dinner for us. Hey guys, so for dinner tonight, I'm gonna do a super quick and easy chicken Alfredo. I'm just gonna be using these chicken patties, these Tyson chicken patties. So like I said, really super quick and easy. Some pasta, and then I am going to be making a homemade Alfredo recipe because they were out of Alfredo at the store. So I will be sharing that recipe here with you guys, but right now I'm just going to go ahead and get the chicken and the pasta started, and then I will go ahead and cook up the Alfredo. So for the Alfredo sauce, you need 1/2 cup of butter, you need 8 ounces of cream cheese, 2 cups of milk, about 6 ounces or so of Parmesan cheese, and then some garlic powder and pepper. The first step is just to go ahead and get your stick of butter melting in a medium nonstick saucepan over medium heat. So I just went ahead and threw that in. I'm going to let that melt, and I'll be back in a minute. As the butter was melting, I just made sure I was stirring it with a whisk so that nothing was like getting burnt on the bottom. And then once it's done, I'm going to go ahead and add in 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. You can do more or less per your taste of garlic. And then I'm also going to add in my 8 ounces of cream cheese, and I did just quickly cut this up into little squares to make it easier because you do want it to melt. So now I'm going to stir this into the butter and let it melt, and just keep stirring it and whisking it until it's like a smooth, like thick consistency. Once the cream cheese was all melted and mixed in with the butter, I went ahead and started adding the 2 cups of milk just a little bit at a time. So you want to do this very slowly and whisk it the entire time, making sure it's smooth and that you're not getting any lumps in the mixture.
Once I get all the milk added in, I'm going to just go ahead and add a little bit of pepper, and then I'm going to stir in the 6 or so ounces of Parmesan cheese. I'm going to mix that in really well as well. Once it reaches my desired Alfredo consistency, so the thickness that I would want, right now it's kind of thin, so I'm going to keep stirring it for a while it like heats up and thickens. Once it's the right consistency, I'm going to go ahead and remove it from the heat. If yours gets too thick too quickly, you can always add more milk to kind of like make it a thinner consistency. At this point, my chicken is cooking in the oven. My pasta is done, as well as my Alfredo sauce is done as well. So I'm going to go ahead and pour the Alfredo sauce in with my pasta and mix that up, and then just cover it and let it sit for just a couple more minutes while my chicken is finishing in the oven. Once the chicken was done cooking, I did just go ahead and top it with a little bit of mozzarella cheese and just stick it back in the oven for like 3 minutes just so the cheese can melt. I just like adding this little extra touch. It's almost kind of like a chicken parmesan at this point, which I always eat my chicken parmesans with Alfredo sauce because I'm not a fan of marinara anyways. So this is my little take on that. And then I just served dinner with a side of green beans, and this turned out really good. The Alfredo sauce was amazing, especially for something that I made out of ingredients I had laying around the house, and it was just a really easy meal that the entire family enjoyed. If you guys liked this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. If you're new here, don't forget to hit subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, y'all.